dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, Governor Beshear and Lieutenant Governor Coleman are both weighing in on a controversial event at Hazard High School. Pictures from that event, as we reported yesterday, show teenage boys dressed inappropriately dancing on or near school officials as part of a yearly homecoming tradition. School Superintendent Sandra Combs said on Wednesday there is an investigation and appropriate action will be taken.
My hope is that those officials in the Department of Education work together to get to the bottom of it.
They need to be talking to these students, that this isn't something that is normalized in their mind, that they think is okay in school.
The investigation is managed at the local school level by the superintendent. We will have some more community reaction coming up tonight at 6. One Floyd County food pantry is getting quite the surprise by a home improvement company. WYMT's Dakota Makris explains.
Open Door Community Pantry here in David is getting a new addition, all thanks to some big help from Lowe's. The pantry, originally started in June of last year, has now expanded to the point it can no longer use its current storage building to meet its needs. For instance, a volunteer tells me they served 155 families just last month. That same volunteer also mentions they were surprised when they found out the Pikeville Lowe's location selected them to be part of Lowe's Heroes. Being chosen means people with Lowe's will be building a whole new building for the pantry to continue the work they do for the community.
And I just felt that we needed to help them because they're just working out of a small building right now. And so I got with my store manager James, and we drew up the plans and we're going to build him a 16 by 16 building.
That Lowe's employee telling me they plan to finish the building by Monday. In Floyd County, Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News.
We are told Lowe's will provide the pantry freezers and refrigerators as well. Knott County leaders held a bridge dedication ceremony today honoring the late Chief Deputy Bobby W. Jacobs, who died in 2019. The bridge is located near the old Pick-Pack parking lot in the city of Hindman. Friends, family, and co-workers came to the ceremony commemorating the officer's legacy and career. Knott County Judge Executive Jeff Dobson says the bridge they chose made the most sense.
This here is just above where actually Bobby lives. Close to his homestead. His family, friends drive by this area every day. So, hey, it's the closest one we can get to his house, actually home front.
Dobson says the decision to honor Jacobs was made by the fiscal court.
We've been increasing our shower chances as we've gone through the day today. Still a few off and on showers as we've gone through this afternoon. I-75 at Mount Vernon, we are currently on the dry and overcast side, but that won't be the case everywhere as we continue through this afternoon. London Corbin Airport right now also sitting at 63 with a little bit of overcast. We've warmed up quite a bit in a few spots as we continue to see some areas a little bit drier. Hazard right now checking in at 70. It's 66 in Jackson, but most of the rest of us in those low to middle 60s, even a few upper 50s out there. You see where the current showers are through the Big Sandy area along the I-64 corridor as well from Moorhead over to Charleston. Down toward Louise is seeing some rain right now into portions of Martin County as well into northeastern Pike County, and a few more showers getting going across Laurel into Whitley and as well into Knox and Bell counties. We're going to continue to watch everything here move off to the north and east as our low pressure continues to spin over the Show Me State over the next little bit. So keep that WYMT weather app handy. You'll get the latest radar imagery as well as our latest forecast, which is showery in nature as we head into tonight. We're going to be dipping into the 50s by the time we get into the evening hours, and really we may not hit 60 again for a little while. I'll have the details on that coming up in just a little bit. Steve?
Evan, thank you. After months of negotiations, White House officials believe they have reached a deal on a big part of President Biden's agenda. It is one that both progressive Democrats in the House and moderate Democrats in the Senate will agree to, potentially paving the way for passage of the president's Build Back Better agenda. But not every Senate Democrat shares that confidence. Members of the House want to take a closer look, but hope things can move forward.
We want to see what's actually in the bill. We want to see the legislative text. And then we're, assuming that we're fine with that, we'll vote both bills through at the same time.
The outline of the $1.75 trillion plan includes universal pre-K for all 3- and 4-year-olds. It extends the child tax credit for another 6 years and reduces health care premiums brought through the Affordable Care Act. The bill does not include a national paid family leave proposal, free community college, or the tax on billionaires. Big oil executives were virtually in Washington today to testify before a House committee about climate change. Democratic lawmakers compared the landmark hearing to one in the 1990s with tobacco company executives who tried to convince lawmakers that nicotine was not addictive. CBS's Skylar Henry reports on the day's events from Capitol Hill.
Anything? I'm just asking an open question. It's not a gotcha question.
Democrats on Capitol Hill wanted clear testimony from oil executives of ExxonMobil, Chevron, BP America, and Shell.
For far too long, big oil has escaped accountability for its central role in bringing our planet to the brink of a climate catastrophe. That ends today.
But lawmakers said they didn't get the answers they wanted, much like at the big tobacco legislative hearing in the 90s.
I was hoping that you would not be like the tobacco industry was and lie about this.
Oil execs did talk freely about climate change and its effects.
As early as 1991, our annual reports discussed concerns about climate change.
ExxonMobil has long recognized that climate change is real and poses serious risks.
Did we join some of these shadow groups to work against some of the early efforts? Yes.
The hearing follows the release of a video in June that shows former Exxon senior lobbyist Keith McCoy speaking about the company's efforts to fight climate science. But the CEOs of ExxonMobil and Chevron both say their companies have not engaged in disinformation campaigns.
Any suggestion that Chevron is engaged in an effort to spread disinformation and mislead the public on these complex issues is simply wrong.
It is absolutely disgusting.
Republicans criticize Democrats' questions and the validity of the hearing.
The purpose of this hearing is clear: to deliver partisan theater for primetime news.
The oil company executives all pledged today to do their part to combat climate change. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
McCoy was fired from ExxonMobil after the video was released by the environmental group Greenpeace UK. Let's head over to Wall Street now. On this Thursday, the Dow closes up today more than 239 points. We'll have more financial news in our next half hour. If you're sick of sitting in traffic, one German startup might have a solution. Volocopter sees blue skies ahead for its flying taxis. The battery-powered taxis use 18 motors to lift 2 passengers and their luggage into the air. They are already being tested in Italy, offering a ride to the airport above Rome's notoriously bad traffic, and they hope to expand sooner rather than later.
This is our goal in the next 2 to 3 years, to get the commercial license from the European Aviation Safety Agency to then start our commercial operations.
While the service is saving people time, it certainly will not save them money. A ticket is expected to cost about $175 per person. Volocopter hopes to see their flying taxis moving passengers around cities worldwide by the end of the decade. High above the ground in New York City, crops are sprouting next to skyscrapers in an attempt to expand options for growth.
And we've got some soggy weather in the forecast really for the remainder of the work week. I'll have all the details on the way.